98 stray beads down, 1 to go. Hey everybody, it's Chugga Conroy. Welcome back to more Okami. Last time, we took on the Trial Devil Gate, or Devil Gate Trial, or Demon Gate Trial, or whatever the hell you want to call it. It varies from source to source, and I am all-inclusive. In Ryoshima Coast. That sentence kind of lost its plot part of the way through. This time, we find ourselves in Kamui to take on the final of the 3 trials. Let's do it. I didn't get a demon fang. Killed the momentum there. It's a cave of waterfalls inside of a cave behind another waterfall. You are free to leave whenever you want, but must do all the phases in a single attempt, otherwise it goes back to phase 1. Money does not matter anymore. Buy all the items that you possibly can, which isn't at all what I did, but I bought more than I thought I would need. Phase 1 is strong versions of the Blade Namahages and Umbrella Namahages. They're red and blue imps. Every area has their clones of them. Use power slash to destroy the thing that they're guarding themselves with. You know the drill. For the Fly Guys, use Galestorm to knock them down. Also, alternatively, you can just hit them really hard. And you do lots of damage that way. I recommend, above all else, items such as Vengeance Slips to make you invincible, Steel Fist Sake to raise attack power, which I probably should be doing, actually, at any fight, because I have way too many of them. Galestorm is the floral finisher of all these guys, as though you even need it at this point. Or maybe it's not. Maybe they're already dead. Either or. It's not like I really care all that much. What's more important is my weapon of choice is the Thunder Edge. This is the strongest weapon type in the entire game, and when playing with buttons, I recommend it above all else. Hang on. Okay, there's the smoke color I want. There we go. I was going to show a reminder that the ultimate weapons are an endless supply of whatever element that they belong to. If you want fire, just equip the solar flare. If you want ice, equip the tundra bead. There is no such water weapon. A steel soul. Oh, wait, I used the Thieves Glove. I didn't mean to do that, but I guess I had it equipped. The Thieves Glove was something that I was meaning to talk about. It allows you to steal items from an enemy, but it kinda is more nuanced than that. Every time that you use it, the damage that it does to an enemy upon stealing the item gets more powerful, and there's no limit to this. It will just endlessly get more and more powerful until it one-shots any enemy, even these guys. If it's hard, you're having a hard time, it is possible to just grind up enough that nothing is a threat to you anymore. I'm not personally doing that, but it is something that you could do. You guys, power slash right on through you. Steamrolling. Look at this. Like, a full charge from this attack is knocking out almost all of their health bars. That one did over half. That one knocked him out. I'm just knocking them right out of the sky. Your powers of flight have no effect on me, even if they don't operate in any propulsion and are magical. I'm just that dang brawny. Brawn over brains any day of the week. Not today. Not today. Not today. Only I can use brawn over brains. Just because I'm not guarding doesn't mean you get to attack me. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention that the logic only applies to the hero of this story. Okay. Guarding. Okay. Cancel to your attack. Just keep stun locking. Should be fine. Not all that bad. Remember, Veil of Mist can just be used to make hard to deal with attacks a lot easier to go with. And you, sir, appear to be the final target in this phase. Or not. There's sure are a lot of enemies. This is only phase 1, by the way. We got 10 of these to do today. And this is taking this long. Is that all? You gonna let me finish? Hey, good on time. Pretty good on damage. I'll take it. Better than I usually do. Why do I have the water tablet equipped? Don't need to be able to walk on water as much as I would like to impress enemies with being God. Golden ink pot, yeah, that's what I need. I have my 8th Wonder as my sub-weapon here. Maybe I'll, counter could be kind of nice, just if it's needed in a pinch. For now, I think we're gonna speed things up, and I'll interject as things become relevant. Oh, hey, look, something relevant. These Igloo turtles. They have fire on their back, though we also have the ability to make fire out of nothing, either from solar flare or from fire burst. From doing such a thing, we're able to get at their cores and hit for not very much damage. All right, let me glug this down. There we go. The Igloo turtles are an awfully infamous enemy, as in any percent speedrunning of Okami. Inferno is not gotten. It's a brush technique that is very seldom actually needed with the skips that are done. It is possible to get turtled, as they say in the business, if you encounter one of these. There is a tutorial fight that you're supposed to skip that's normally required so that you can not have to worry about these guys. Aside from that, I think that's about good. While we're going through the more monotonous fights of the bunch, I asked all of you wonderful people if there was anything that should be a part of the series that is not already, and I got a little bit of feedback about that, so let's talk about it. For one, Okami HD is known as Okami Magnificent version in Japan. I wish we got this title, but for sake of marketability, that's probably why we didn't. There's another difference in the HD version that I hadn't gone over, and that's toggling motion controls. The Wii version had this in Japan only since they got it in the Wii after us, and it was one of the things that they added. The HD version also allows toggling of the parchment filter for you purists out there, or for those of you that like the more runny look of the Wii version. Though I can't imagine why you would, actually. I'm kind of more of a parchment filter guy now myself. Phase 3! We got Bull Chargers! These are kind of involved enemies. You're supposed to get to their sides, which is easier to do if Veil of Mist is up. We can just wail on them from the sides, and they have these masks on their heads that are just downright creepy looking. If we can power slash the mask in 2 when it's off, as well as use fire on the body, then they are pretty weak. Let's just do Fire Burst right here so I don't have to worry about missing the timing. There we go! Boom! Hit him for a lot of damage. I haven't mentioned it so far, but in terms of mythology, these are based on the Gatekeepers of Hell. Very fitting, because they legitimately creep me out. They're like a bull mixed with a muscle-bound dude mixed with the ass of a bee. I can't imagine any more terrifying combination of traits for something to have. There, it's stunned. Come on. Power slash the mask. Look at its face! I didn't even remember that's what it looked like with the mask off. Holy crap! These are like actually the scariest enemies in the game. And for something that's based on virtually every demon throughout all Japanese mythology, that's kind of impressive, dude. You should be proud. You should be the main bad guy of this. You're actually more scary than any of them are. Bye. One last thing to be aware of is that these are a rare enemy that cannot be countered. See what I mean? They have all the makings of being a boss. Phase 4 has clay drummers and clay soldiers. These are basically green and yellow imps. This is the only time that they're ever fought in the present, which is awfully strange that they would be fought in the present at all, because it says in the bestiary that Orochi was the one who animated the clay on their bodies. And, you know, he's dead. Counterattacking on any sort of yellow imp right before it beats its drum is the way to go. They're exceptionally weak to it. Another little thing I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about is that back when the series was still ongoing, people didn't know the difference between praise and praise. Not prayers. They were saying praise with a Y. And they thought that I was saying that, oh, well, after you accomplish these things, they're praying to God as they should, and that's what's making you more powerful. No, I mean, they're giving praise, as in the good vibes, to a god, not praying. I can see how that mistake was made, but it was just kind of funny because only seeing the game in text and not hearing the things spoken, I never thought of it that way before, but if somebody wasn't really reading along and just listening to me talk, maybe having it on in the background, that would make sense, and I thought it was a funny story, so that was really amusing. It was really amusing to me and a unique experience that I had, and I just wanted to share it because I thought it was cool. Phase 5, more clay drummers, and a first, clay shoguns. Actually, I think those were Namahage drummers that were fighting. Actually, no, I think they were fighting. These are black imps. They have these samurai helmets, I'm wanting to say. Usually they're skulls on the imps. Whatever they are, you slash them around them, makes them vulnerable. They're not able to fire beams at you from afar any longer. Makes them a lot easier to deal with and a lot more green imp-like. Yeah, I said it. That's what you guys are. The crabs in the sunken ship that turn into Ichiro, the shark, have a floral finisher. It's just impossible to ever see because the enemy only appears in that one spot, and it's Thunderstorm. One of the rare times that a boss bothered to have a floral finisher programmed in. Halfway down, onto phase 6. We have Dogus. Is that what they call dogs in Japan? You know, like Dogu? I don't know. I'm being really... probably not, actually. I was gonna show that Dogus are really not all that fast in how they attack. You can wail on them pretty quickly and not have to worry. Using Veil of Mist as well, once again, they become even slower in that case. Just wail on them, you'll probably win. I've been asked if there's any difference between the different ports of Okami that are presently available. Not really. It's possible to play in 4K on PC and I think Xbox One X. The Switch version enjoys HD rumble. You can feel the pitter-patter of Ami's paws on the left and right sides. It's a pretty immersive and cool experience that I can't describe to you. You'll just have to try it out. And then there's also touchscreen drawing, which to some people might make the Switch version the definitive one. Aside from no achievements in the Nintendo version, there are no content differences. It is the same game through and through. Phase 7 gives great Tengus. These are like blue Cyclopses, only red. And not doing drugs. Phase 8 is where things get interesting. 2 Wakas. This is a boss from all the way back in Taka Pass. He mainly uses physical attacks, so things with long range like rosaries might be helpful here just for keeping distance away if you're going with a no items policy. Other than that, he tosses daggers at you, you launch him back at him with Power Slash. It's a basic boss all over again. You pull that off, and you stun him for a long period of time, allowing for some power slashes to do some real damage. Also, I do have all the brush techniques fully powered up, just in case you were wondering. Gets to the end of that combo, and... come on, let me rotate the camera. Thank you. Slash him. There it is. Real damage, I said. One must not dwell on past victories, ma chérie. There's 2 rows. That wasn't even it. May they not take off their masks and reveal their true faces. Their fighting style is awfully similar to Waka's, surprisingly, where they throw daggers that you reflect back. They have similar attacks that are close range only, and that's your lot. Phase 9 is where they got uncreative in finding new and interesting challenges. Why does this thing keep disappearing? Because I'm standing inside of it. Phase 9 is pretty much the same thing again, just now you gotta fight them at the same time instead of fighting 2 Wakas at once and 2 Rows at once. There's also 1 more Row than the previous fight. here we are. Phase 10 is an excellent card game if you haven't tried it. 3 Nagis at once. No other phases within a phase. It's just these 3 clowns together. I think this is the fight that everyone thinks of when they think of Nagi if they've 100%ed this. This is unforgettable the first time that you reach it. They all have this dagger attack that is supposed to just make life hard for you. He doesn't have any other ranged attacks besides that. He just slashes his sword in various ways and thrusts forward. It's just difficult because it's hard to dodge 3 of them at one time. What I would recommend is focus on 1, get it down, use the Steel Fist Socket to just rack up damage on it. It's a lot easier to deal with 2 than it is to deal with 3. Power slash these when you can. This demands constant power slashes from you if you don't have the Vengeance Slip up. So remember that, maybe use an Infinity Stone or 2, get rid of those daggers, keep up the pressure. Continuing on, there is a little bit more that I can say about Nagi. His sword, Tsukuyomi, is what it was christened after the fight with Orochi, according to the legend. But before the fight with Orochi, he doesn't call it Tsukuyomi. He calls it Boku Ninjin, which translates from Japanese to blockhead. I like that. Nagi's style is that he's not an idiot like he lets on. He actually... In the bestiary, it says that he has the saying that a true eagle like never shows its talons or something like that. The idea is that he acts like an idiot so nobody suspects it when he is actually a great warrior. He acts full of himself, acts really stupid, but really isn't that way. You can even see him in his style of fighting, how his knees are shaking and he's kind of looking like he's unsure about what he's doing, but he knows full well what he's doing. It's even hinted that Susanoo might be like this in the present time because he was onto the fact that you were helping him the entire time, and he wasn't actually falling for the fact that he had really gotten that powerful from his training. I think I'll go for a Steel Fist Socket. I'm not going to be in Vengeance Slip this whole fight. I would kind of rather do some of it the legit way. Items are what you should be doing. I never use items for hardly anything else other than these Trial Devil Gates. It's just good to be doing that. Come on, slash those. Okay. That guy is stunned in the back there. Go. Slash all 5 of these at once, please. Thank you. I'm always so nervous in this fight of all fights that my power slashes aren't going to go through thanks to shaky motion controls at times. There's not a way to hold this in the HD version. It just has to be done with precision. You get used to it in time, but as someone like me who grew up with the... I was actually technically in college when I played this. Well, yeah, on the Wii. I think I was in college when this released, but I was saying, as somebody who is used to the Wii version, and that was how they first experienced Okami in its fullest, it's kind of hard to get used to. Now, in this fight, if I can have another thought about Okami that I guess I don't think I've ever really gotten to share before, it's that, am I the only one who knew about Okami when it was on the PS2 and thought it was a mega popular game? Because I did. Every kid I knew who had a PS2 knew about this game before it released, were looking super forward to it, pre-ordered it, bought it on day one, and it was all they were talking about for months. They were all going on and on about what a great game it was, and I thought it was a huge hit because of that. I wasn't aware that it initially was a commercial flop, because every kid I knew liked it. I knew more people who had Okami for their PS2 than I knew people who had Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I'm not joking. I think maybe I was just very lucky that I knew people that were that in the know about what a great game this was, but I knew about it from the PS2 era, played it on my friend's systems, didn't beat it, but then when it came out on the Wii a few years later, that was how I experienced it in full. And I was so happy that I did. I don't know if anyone else thought that this was a super popular game in its day, though, but it was just one of those artists that got appreciated long after its heyday was over. Gonna smack you around. I need to be using a Steel Fist Socket. There's no reason to not at least be in that buff at all times, even if I'm gonna ban the other ones. Can I... Oof. Thank God I was stunned during that, otherwise that could have been a disaster fee. Knock you guys onto your backs? Yes, I can. Power slash you? Yeah, sure. Cut your guts open. Extract your lunch. Use it for my own vital nourishment. Why not at this point? It's not like you're actually Nagi at all. That explains the whole Orochi thing away. Knocked you out before he had a chance to use those daggers, and we got one left shaking in his boots. Perhaps maybe his quaking and shaking isn't all an act at this point. Maybe he is really nervous, as he should be. Ah! It's over! It's really over! Golden pin... What am I gonna use that for? You can't even sell them. Oh yeah, how about we finish with this? Oh, I killed him too fast. Okay, that's really funny that the boom happened afterward. I'm gonna grab this really quick. Stray bead, 99 out of 100. There is one more, but you know what it is. Okay, carrying on. There are a few things we haven't seen yet. I was gonna try to finish off Nagi with this, and I kinda did, but the camera panned away so you couldn't see it. We know about Golden Fury, peeing on an enemy, making them drop Demon Fangs. The final move in Okami that I never obtained, hold A while doing this attack. Get away from me, please. Hold A. Brown Rage! It gives more Demon Fangs than Golden Fury, hits for some decent damage, and as the in-game description says, adds insult to injury to your enemies. It's a pretty great thing that only the mind of Hideki Kamiya could ever come up with as an attack, and I kind of like it. Also, I'm sorry, guys. You just feel like you're made out of butter to me now. After collecting all 99 stray beads and then defeating Yami once again to unlock New Game Plus, our reward is this: the String of Beads. I never realized what an ironic name that thing ended up having, given how long I strung you along for it. The String of Beads is the most powerful item in Nippon. Inkpot and solar energy become infinite with attack power times 10. I'm in New Game Plus right now, so I can show you this. It's basically just a way of playing back up to whatever your favorite part is. Maybe making some duplicate saves so you can rewatch scenes if you want to. Maybe you really like replaying a certain boss fight. And you can just equip this to have the difficulty be the same all over again, or if you don't care, you can just be ultimately powerful. It's unfortunately not a viable strategy to beat the Trial Devil Gates for the first time with this, as you need those stray beads in order to get it in the first place, but in repeat attempts, why not? For this next bit, I want to go into the River of Heavens just as a heavenly backdrop to have to this. I love just being in the River of Heavens. This is a location that I would go back to just to see it all over again with the moon in the sky, and it's this moment that I truly knew that the art direction was going to be incredible. We've already seen New Game Plus once already. This is just the new stuff that I haven't talked about. Being a wolf, we gotta get in our hours of looking cool each day, so we're just gonna find a nice cliffside here, stand on it, look at the River of Heavens below us, maybe also gaze up at the moon a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a wolfy shot. And I'm going to tell you about the very last thing that I wanted to talk about here today. The HD version of Okami, at least on PlayStation, has achievements. Trophies, to be precise. I could go through all of these, but a lot of them are just tied to normal story progression, so I'll be going over the ones that you could possibly miss by the end of the journey. Dog Eat Dog is from beating Hayabusa's turnip digging record in Kamiki Village. No furball on the menu. When meeting Rao, escape the water dragon without being eaten by it. This was something I didn't know you could do until after I'd played through the game a few times. So this could be something to do on New Game Plus if you didn't know that either. Who Let the Dogs Out is beating the Kusa 5. They're a super boss fight that open up after clearing Oni Island in the Gale Shrine. Digging It is beating 5 digging minigames. Some of these are optional. Gotta have that cumulative total. Eat My Flower Trail. Win the races against Ida in Shinshu Field and Hayate in Ryoshima Coast. Doggone Fast. Prove that you're the fastest dog in Nippon by winning the race against Kai in Yoshipet Woods. Grab Life by the Leash. Max out all praise-related upgrades. No More Fish in the Sea is tied to catching every fish. Have Guides Will Travel is completing every single slot of the travel guide. Give a dog all the bones. Please do. Do it every day. It's completing the treasure tome. Sniff 'em out. Defeat all the monsters on the wanted lists. Leave no chest unopened is all stray beads. All creatures, great and small, complete the animal tome. This is tied to feeding animals. Teach an old dog new tricks. Learn all the dojo techniques. Considering that God kind of created the universe, very good name. From Imps to Demons, complete the bestiary. Barking Up the Cherry Tree is awarded for getting every cherry tree rank in the cumulative results after the fight with Yami. Out of the gate swinging! Defeat all enemies at all 3 Devil Gate trial caves. I guess that's the official name. And top dog, acquire all other trophies. As you would guess, it's the platinum trophy of Okami. Note that there's one thing curiously missing. Optional brush techniques. They aren't needed for top dog, so it is not truly counted toward 100% completion. If you're in a hurry and don't care about those moves, that is something that's allowed to be skipped. And if I can end this on one final thing, many of you responded very positively to my admittance that I was wrong about Yami. It wasn't that I was trying to cover it up all these years, it's just I didn't have a good opportunity to really bring up that I was, and I finally was able to get that story off of my chest. Many of you asked me what Yami is actually based on if my previous comments about him being based on the evils of humanity were incorrect. Yami just means evil or darkness. He isn't anybody from an old legend or in Japanese history. His physical appearance is that of a black koi, which is used to represent yang in Asian cultures. I think that he's meant to be one of those villains that you don't get to know much about, but is meant to invoke thought, sort of like Gygas is. My personal opinion is that he's an example of how evil starts out small and simple, but if left unchecked and allowed to grow, even the smallest evil can become something unspeakable. It all came from somewhere. Thank you for waiting so long for this video. Thank you for tuning in. And now, we've put this dog to bed. Maybe I'll see you back here again if Okami 2 ever happens. See you guys then.